on this great and glorious feast, we gather today in celebration of the presence of the Lord in our midst now, and in anticipation and eager expectation of the glory that is not yet revealed, that we expect in a week on Great and Holy Pascha, and that we look for on the great and glorious day of the universal resurrection yet to come. It is a day of joy, and therefore, by long-standing tradition, everyone is here. Those who come every Sunday are here, and those who come once a year are here. We rejoice together at the coming of the Lord into Jerusalem. We rejoice at the fulfillment of our present hopes. Now, our present hopes today are not the same as the Jews in Jerusalem on the day that we observe. Their hopes were for a king, for a conqueror, for glory, for conquest, for wealth, for the return of all that they felt they had lost. Our realistic hopes today are perhaps somewhat less. We hope for a day of joy. We hope the priest won't yell at us if we haven't been seen too much. We hope that the priest won't yell at those who haven't been seen too much if we've been here, because we've all heard that sermon. Yes? We hope for a good meal. We hope for some fish to strengthen our bodies if we've been fasting. We have small hopes today. We look for a day of joy in expectation of the greater joy that is to come. And this we are given. This we will have. But as we rejoice together, as we celebrate, I beg you to consider what is the true joy that brings us into the church. Why was it, however long ago it was, that the first member of your family bent his head and bowed his neck and accepted baptism in the Christian church, whether that was within living memory or 2,000 years ago? What brought them here? Because this, in truth, is why we are here. If someone had not made a decision at some point in the distant past, unrecorded by history, we would not be here. Each of us individually and all of us together. Why was the decision made to put up this church? Why was the decision made to build churches of such beauty and grandeur and effort and expense? There is a reason beyond simply that it is what we have received from our forefathers. Because at some point, those forefathers changed from worshiping trees or statues or the stars or the sun or the sea or the hills to worshiping the Most High God. Why? Because if we are reflecting on the matter of joy, on the reason that we come here to celebrate together today, it is not the hope of the Jewish people that day 2,000 years ago for a conqueror and glory and wealth. It is not what we hope for today, a peaceful and joyful day with family and good food. It was something far more, far greater, far more lasting. We stand today in the church and we see our Creator within His creation. We see Him lowly and humble. We see Him seated not on a horse, not in a chariot, not in a Cadillac, on a donkey, not even a donkey, but on a donkey's colt. We see God with us. We see mercy. We see grace. We see love. We see salvation. We see life everlasting, trampling on death. This is the joy that brought the nations within the church. This is the joy that our parents or our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents embraced. This is the joy of the martyrs that allowed them to sing even as they were tortured and killed. This is the joy that sustains the church. So whether you come here every Sunday or whether you come once a year, I beg of you, remember, this rejoicing that we do today is a great matter, not a question merely of history, of tradition, of blood or language or parentage, not just a matter of food and drink or of family joy. This rejoicing is a celebration that God sustains the existence of all things, and that as we have fallen into sin and brokenness and death, He does not leave us alone, but He comes into the world humble, full of love and grace and life, and He makes all things right. In this joy, let us stand, let us continue the liturgy.